Hey y'all, kindness starts here. This your girl Quill, the one that keeps it real without trill. Give you a thrill that is beauty filled with looks that can kill. Hey, welcome back to God's Kingdom of Tarot Show. Tarot Show. You better like it now. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Okay, the days of the week have been significant, especially this weekend. It was going down. Days of Monday. Days of the weekend. Days of the week. On the weekend. Okay. I don't really like the song by SZA, but I feel like somebody needs that message from SZA's song, The Weekend. Okay. I forget how it goes. How it go? It's on a Friday and on the weekend. Fridays. I don't even know. I don't know how it goes. And it's not a good song. I believe in manifesting things based on your words. I believe in word magic and stuff like that. But yeah, if y'all new here, welcome. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and trusting me to be your reader. I hope that you consider and decide to subscribe. Join this tribe, this kingdom of God we're building here through tarot. Yes, through tarot. And if you're OG God and got us to here on the 3D realm with us, well, we can see you on the 3D realm and the ones in the heavenly realm. God and goddesses, thank y'all so much for tuning back in. What up? What up? How you doing this Monday? Okay. Do you what's it called? Dread Mondays too? Oh, let me do these settings. I don't care. I don't care about your opinion unless you're on my team, okay? But yeah, so they're creating a fire, which is rituals, all that shit, witchcraft, all that shit, okay? And they're creating their own ashes, okay? It's a crime to touch the parents of these children or this child. Emphasis on the child because the child cannot fend for itself. In history, that's how they get to the child. That's how they clip the child's wings, is to go after its parents. And God says no more of that. I did a reading not too long ago that said God is not going to they ain't going to even be able to crucify Jesus this time. God's not going to waste time proving that. So when they're creating these fires, aka rituals, and fire is a great way to describe this because fire is the element that uses all elements or considers all elements. Think about it. To have a fire, you have to have oxygen. But to put it out, you got to take away oxygen, right? But you don't need too much of the oxygen to create this. If you want this fire to last, right? Or it's just going to be blown out. Shout out to the 12 people up in here. I got to say that because sometimes they be fucking with my stuff. Now, 13, 13 is the number of karma. They think it's bad luck. It's karma for me, okay? And we talking about spells. So, yeah. So the oxygen, you consider the oxygen, which is part of the air element, basically. But it also considers water. That element itself considers water and vapor, the absence of it, the presence of it, and the fire does as well. You can't have too much water around or the fire won't burn or it won't even start, right? You got to consider that element. Consider where you build that fire. Rock the boat. I ain't going to even get into that because I want to finish going through all the elements. Earth, which is what you use probably to create to create that fire. To even know you can create a fire. You considered how much earth you have. Wood, most people start a fire with wood, right? And then lastly, the fire itself. You're considering the fire itself because it's your goal in mind. You want to create a fire. And this fire could also be, chaos, arguments, fights, They starting something. So it will be something. You starting a fire, right? And some of them are not considering these elements. Or they are. And what they don't understand is that once they build that perfectly flamed fire, whoever it was for, once they touch it, aka control it, direct it towards whoever it was for, in the midst of them touching that fire, they're creating ashes. They're going to dissolve immediately out of existence, out of space. Because space is also an element. I didn't even want to mind mentioning it. I didn't want to consider it. Because you're going to fuck around and find out. But it uses all elements, if you think about it. So, especially when you're going up against water and you're trying to do fire, you better make sure the water is not more than the fire will ever be. Not just what the fire can start off to be, will ever be. Because no matter how big that fire can get, enough water can take out that fire. AKA emotions, sensitivity, all that shit considered in the water department, water element. Everything you think of when you think of the water element, right? It seems like to me, it's giving me like a barrier type of energy. And you know how like when you see water depicted, sometimes they show it like waves, like surfing waves. A surfer could be in this energy as well, but like how the water could even rise up. I'm also thinking about how the movie Moana, when she was a little baby or a little toddler, she went to the water and the water chose her basically. And when the water chose her, it was moving as she came. The water was moving, departing for her, making way for her, and stuff like that. And then there was a point in this movie where the water kind of rised up and curved over and did something. I think it dropped something on her head or it touched her or something like that on her finger and stuff. Like, and I'm pretty sure other movies depict, like the substance of water, and it's giving me that because it's forming its own body. So when someone tries to touch you, the fire is going to go out. It don't even have to leave remnants of ashes. The fire is going to look like it's never been created. Thank you for the first bonus blessings to you. First gets bonus blessing over here. Shout out to the 8 people up in here. I appreciate that. But yeah, so when you're coming up against that water or another fire even, you better make sure whatever element you're using is bigger. And most of the time it's not. Because God has a will, God has a plan, God has a structure, strategy, blueprint of how things should go. So anything a threat to that will be extinguished. Especially if you come in with the heat. You come in with the fire. We're going to fight fire with fire or fire against water. Even fire against earth. Earth can put out fire. But imagine if earth is the one putting up the fire in general. That goes to show earth ends up being something that stops fire from existing. So even if earth is not hurt from stopping that, earth is the reason why fire doesn't exist. So again, that power needs to be bigger. If you don't have enough dirt to put out these fires, to snuff these fires, take out the oxygen in these fires, you'll have a wildfire. And it'll start eating up dirt. It'll start burning dirt, hurting dirt, right? Somebody's enjoying these analogies. Thanks. If you are, I appreciate it. I'm always nervous about actually articulating what I'm thinking in my mind because I've been called crazy so much in my life. It's crazy. Okay. And motherfuckers sitting there calling me crazy, and they looking crazy as hell saying it. Okay. Some of these motherfuckers can develop a better sentence than me and have a nerve to call me crazy, call me challenging, call me whatever. Fire. But once you touch that fire, what will happen? And then if I have something to suppress, that means I'm more powerful than you. I don't even get it. Like, even when people see something that they want, it's like, you want it because it makes them look better than you in some type of way. Whatever the thing is, it's like a caliber. It raises the caliber of who they are. I'm not saying a material things make this person, but it's like you saw something special in this person that you don't have. That already makes them one up against you. Why must you go through that? On that show, my son watches this cartoon sometimes, PJ Mask, and there's a girl on there, her name's Luna Girl. And if you really listen to who she is as a character, you will have pity on her. But that alone, that fact, or my opinion of her right there, we can stop right there. Because I'm ending up being able to have pity on her. And I'm probably taking it a step further, by having a pity on her, being more considerate and compassionate to have a pity on her. Without even considering all the other shit she's done or will do. Whatever, you know? So in reality, whether she admits it or not, I'm already better than her, whether we look at the pity portion of it or the fact that I see pity to give her. I have pity to give her, which I have more than her. No matter how you look at it, I'm not trying to shit on her, right? Right there. Just right there. Just stop right there. And you want to know why I have pity on her? Because like, without, I mean, it don't matter. It's a show with a lot of episodes, but like throughout the show, some of the things she's done is she's done it because she wanted either it to herself or she was mad that people wouldn't share with her. So she was sometimes like, she's obsessed with the moon. That's why her name is Luna Girl. I don't really know her real name either. Because I feel like she got a real name and then not little girl. I mean, Luna Girl, yeah, or little girl is significant, especially this child that we're talking about. But Aaliyah could be close to you as an angel and stuff like that. A Capricorn woman could be significant. And yeah, so one day, so she obsessed with the moon, right? So anything that is associated with the moon or would get her to get closer to the moon, because she wants to capture the moon, if I'm not mistaken. She wants to capture the moon. Again, another power misalignment or unbalanced power. Thank you for the second like, and may God bless you just for that. Or, um, non-proportionate power. I don't know. But so she knows how powerful the moon is. She loves the moon. Or there's a reason why she loves the moon, whether she knows it's powerful or not, right? So anything that either furthers her goal to get to the moon, I forget what it is. I feel like she wants to get to the moon or she wants to capture the moon for herself. So anything that gets her closer to that, she tries to take it, or, like, she hurts people, for it, or uses it against them as a power as well. Because again, she probably knows this power. Okay. So one day, I think it was like a moonstone crystal. She thought, well, she used something because she's really smart. She used that moonstone to create an invention, and it was doing stuff to the town, and then that's a whole goal of the show of the PJ Masks. That's why they are who they are, because they I'm trying to remember the song that they say, or PJ Masks, the intro song, but they say something after they save the world, because they into the night we shall wait. PJ Masks, we're on our way. Into the night we save the day. And then after they save the day, they say something else. But they will learn about this problem during the day because it's affecting the town, but they can't give away the cover, so they gotta wait until the nighttime to fight this battle. So whatever she was doing, she was messing up the town, and the PJ Masks had to do it. And I think also on this episode, it has something to do with a prom or a Christmas dance or something like that. And yeah, and she took all the toys. She created this magnet or something like that. She took all something, and um and she just wanted nobody to come to the dance, or she wanted to have the dance all to herself or something like that. So that's one of the instances why I pity her, because she also acts out because of loneliness. Like some of us, and that's why people probably even shout to us as slurs that, you know, you're just lonely, like, or you're lonely. That's why you're lonely. That's why you ain't got this or whatever, like they use it as an attack against us. Fire, that fire. Okay. Because, you know, loneliness has a negative connotation and some people act out due to loneliness. But there are people out there who prefer to be alone and they still get those attacks, accusations, assumptions about them as well. So they're not even looking for the pity. At one point in time in my life, I met this woman, and she was a part of this organization that I really valued and stuff like that. She was my mentor, basically. And I loved her so much. And I still do. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there. And so there was a time where, like, when we first met, I opened up a little bit uh, about my life to her as a story. Thank you for the third like. May God bless you just for that. Shout out to the 6 people up in here. Um, I opened up to her about my story, and I would always preface it or end it with, like, I'm not looking for sympathy, because that's not what it was. I mean, I didn't want sympathy. And I didn't even know much about empathy, and I wanted more of empathy. And, and so sometimes when she would mention, some of the stuff say to her, because she would, although I don't want sympathy, she would have sympathy for me, or, like, it would bother her. And so sometimes it will make her hide it, like, and so I wouldn't know how she felt because I didn't want the sympathy. And I wasn't saying it to be rude, and she respected it and she understood. But, sometimes it was just inevitable for her to, give sympathy to me. And she was like, I know you don't want sympathy, but this, and this was wrong because, you know, sometimes when we are so traumatized, when someone's hurting you, like, you forget, like, you don't know that someone's hurting you because you're numb, um, and you used to this type of stuff, or like, you're overcoming, you probably already seeing a goal at the end, like, so it doesn't bother you that it actually happened, or you probably even knew it happened. So a lot of things happen. And and she would always reference it, especially if she has to bring up something I share with her. She was like, I know you don't want sympathy. And she said that multiple times, so much that it stuck with me. And so after those encounters with her as well, like, in the midst of, like, going past those encounters and stuff like that, I wouldn't even mention that I don't want sympathy, because I don't want you to think you got to walk on eggshells to even be honest with me, to have concern for me or stuff like that, because it's not. I don't say that for that, but because people used to think I used to use my mother's death to get away with things and stuff like that, and that was furthest from the truth. But we probably act out because of whatever we're going through. I was acting out because of grief. I wasn't acting out to get my attention for what I was acting out. What resulted in my acting out? So, like, the grief, like, I wasn't acting out because my mom passed on. I was acting out because of my grief. So with that, it's still connected to acting out because of something else, so I understand that side too. Like I was talking about the loneliness, but some of us aren't like that, and then as I grew older, I wasn't acting out because of grief anymore. I wasn't acting out at all, but I was just dealing with my grief based on my experiences, and decided to put up boundaries, decided to put up those fences and stuff because of that. So, that could be significant for someone, especially when dealing with people, who want to attack you for no reason, who find everything in the cupboard to attack you for. I did a reading not too long ago as well that said, they keep holding on to who you used to be in the past, but they want you to forget who they used to be. It's like, you can't have it both ways. And that's why this fire is going to burn you, turn you to ashes. Because once you created that fire, God's like, okay, now test it out. And once you test it out, you're not going to even be able to execute that plan that you were going to use the fire for. It's used against you. It will soon be a crime to mess with you or the family you created and the family you've created. Did a reading about that like a month or so ago. It will soon be a crime to mess with you and the family you've created. And then now we're here again. Or more specifically, God is saying now, it's now a crime to mess with the parents because you're messing with my plan. If I'm creating a life for this child that includes getting love from both parents, and you're doing something to mess with it, you're the enemy. You're the class clown. You're something else. You're a distraction. It's another word I'm looking for. But you're doing too much at that point. You're stopping our plan. And then they'll be looking around like, okay, why this child is acting like this? Because you took their parents. And I didn't even put that together when I came up to the title. And I didn't know I was going to tell a story about my grief. It's like, then y'all wonder why some people grow up or some kids grow up and now the fucking responsibility is on you, or you now have to encounter their attacks from their remnants. Because some of these people be killing the parent and then want to take care of the child. Like, you gonna think, I don't understand. Like, why be like, you're lingering around a crime scene now? Because this child is still connected to these parents. And this child is sitting in front of grief now. And the grief wouldn't exist if this didn't happen to the parent. So you're in a scene to be seen. So you want to be seen so much, see it for the last time. Enjoy that fire you created. Join that crime scene you created. You're going to be a part of it. You might as well just camp out right here, right now. And I be getting lately a nana, someone, especially they call them nana, or something like, but a grown mama, she done had it. Y'all ancestors done had it. Especially if they on the other side, they done had it with this shit. So they're gonna do what they gotta do, and they will stay there to be arrested if they have to. That's how imperative it was for this character to get out the fucking scene. So that's why God is not playing. You're going to create that fire good. Have fun. Like last meal type of energy. Once you fucking touch it. Once it's hot enough, or once it's high as you want it. Everything is perfect how you wanted it. You set the stage, right? Enjoy it. That's a true backfire. That is a true backfire. You set it up yourself. No one didn't have to do anything. God didn't even have to sink vengeance on you. God just allowed it to work how you wanted it to work. It's also giving me like, like if somebody chose to set a house on fire or somewhere on fire, or a place on fire, and they covered it in gasoline. And then they accidentally covered themselves in gasoline, or didn't realize so much gasoline was getting on their ass. So when they threw their match, because they were so close to the fire, that gasoline was covered by that match too. Yeah, that's a perfect way to thank you, God, if you gave me that. But yeah, that's exactly what happens. They create this fire, and that's before the fire even happens. You're just allowed with it. You set the scene. You needed to pour the gasoline, right? You need to light the match, and you there. That's how dangerous this is. Touch the wrong parents. It ain't even about whether the parents are right or wrong anymore. It's treason. It's you being a traitor to God's plan. That's what it's another word I'm looking for. Deterrent. You're doing all of that, and now the current is coming. See, and that relates to water, right? Electricity. Electricity travels through water. We are electric beings that are made of mostly water. Why are we not walking around on fire? Why we haven't been burnt yet? Because the element is overruling it. And that's who we are to God. That element that overrules every time. We are always victors. Our name is victory. I saw the evidence. I got confidence. I'm a conqueror. I know that I will. I know who I am. God wrote it in his plan for me. Dun, dun. Oh, 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 oh. My name is Victory. Sorry. I don't really like how I sing right now, but who's that? Jonathan Nelson? Those names, JN. Yesterday I did a reading about the scary, I said the scary thing about Jesus is he will do without saying after he has already warned you. So not only do they think they're going to set up another camp or plan or whatever, set up shop somewhere. God warned them. Try to give them grace. Unappreciative asses. I wouldn't be surprised if Jesus slapped your ass. What up, Amun Ra? Original and official form of Jesus. When he was around, there was no need for this shit. There was no need for a spell. Only the spell that created a great world. How about that? The spell for good. And then another thing with how, and this is all with no cards. I know I've been putting my personal stories, but I believe in God using me as a testimony. And another thing. So yin and yang energy. I put the yin and yang sign after child because two parents had to create the child. Whatever method they choose. Whatever. Two parents did it, right? So, and then that yin yang sign doesn't come together as a yin yang sign unless it's one, right? That child. So you can't remove the parents without removing the child. And if you're trying to remove the child, that is the ultimate offense. It's a capital offense. I keep speaking in criminal terms because it is. It's criminal now. And these motherfuckers got a nerve to walk around here trying to incriminate us. They doing all this criminal shit. So a thing that people who do witchcraft understand. Thank you for the fourth like. May God bless you just for that bonusly too. All likes get bonus blessings today. I'm feeling generous. Some people who do witchcraft understand that, there's only so much space in the world for souls, okay? And then God likes to do things in two, like the yin yang sign we were just talking about, right? Or I was just talking about. You know, see, because I was thinking about somebody calling me crazy because I'll be talking to myself. I don't have that many people watching me. Right now, at this moment in time, it's 0 people, or it says 0 people. I don't know. I must be stepping on some bunions. I ain't even here for an hour yet. 40 minutes. Just hit 30. But anyway. So God does things in two, some of the first children of the world were twins, okay? You can't have one without the other. Can't have one without the other. Love and marriage. Love and marriage. Okay. That's from that show called Married with Children. I think that's what it's called. Married with Children. Wow. Look at this. These are synchronicities. I hope y'all getting it, okay? Whether you watch it now or later. I don't care, okay? This message will get to those who need it, okay? So fuck y'all who trying to even sabotage them. See? We got bigger battles to fight. They don't understand, because sometimes, your new enemies be the deterrent. Be the deterrent that the existing enemy put on your roadblock. So imagine you running down the street, you fighting this original enemy. You fighting them. Y'all probably shooting each other, shooting at each other, having a sword. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how spiritual warfare is. We in battle, right? We in battle. Like, someone could also be in the military, but y'all have, you're running down the street, or you're doing whatever you're doing, and then you run in or trying to get away from this person, or they're trying to get away from you. But most of all, we're going to look at it as more you running in front of them and they're behind you chasing you, like Jason or Freddy or what's his name, Mike Myers. How they be walking, and it's like you're throwing everything, whatever you got to do, you're in the midst of battle though. And then so sometimes, because you're so far ahead of this enemy, they be like, okay, I know this, whatever I throw is not going to hit them, so I'm use it as a roadblock. And then that roadblock ends up developing into a fire, into other demons or whatever you believe in, something of themselves, but it's on a smaller scale. And that's to distract you and have you fighting and turning your battle to this person or this entity. And then the original enemy gets to go around that battle and hurt you too, or go around you to get the thing that you were trying to even stop them from getting. Sometimes you're running, to stop something else. They do that on that show PJ Masks too. But yeah, sometimes you got, I think they even have some little ninjas, little baby ninjas. Yeah, y'all babies are cold, okay? Our babies are cold. But yeah, and then you got to get past them to get to the bigger ninja and stuff like that. I wasn't even thinking about that, but but y'all in the midst of all of this, and it's like, the battle is not with this obstacle, and you're doing your best. Is like, okay, could you move? All right, I know you here to distract me and deter me, but I'm shooting at him, or I'm getting away from him, or I'm fighting him right now. And then they come in and doing all this, trying to fight you and shit, and trying to have you paying attention to them. Again, because the original enemies knows how powerful you are too. So they got to do something to stop you, to slow you down, so they can catch up. But yeah, so to relate it back to what I was saying about the souls, people who do witchcraft, they know it's only a certain room for certain souls. So to relate it to that example in itself, it's only room really for you and the original enemy to battle. It's not really room for these people or this thing, whatever obstacle they put in your way. It's not even really room for that. And so they're like the either, okay, so they're trying to replace you basically in their goal. So they're trying to stop up the hole that you create by battling this original enemy. I hope it's making sense, because it's making sense in my head. So now we take that a bit further with the parents. So ultimately, okay, so if two parents created one, or however many kids you got, but two parents ended up creating those people, or the decision of two parents or two parties, let's just say, because sometimes people do other methods to bring children into the world. I'm not here to judge you for that. Whatever. Two things had to happen. Two parties had to be present. Two sides had to be considered. Even when you do those procedures, IVF and stuff, they're doing something with the fertilization. That part is the part of the woman, right? And then they're doing something with how does that egg get fertilized, with the other party, whatever that procedure is. So ultimately, there's only two spaces. There's only two spaces, no matter how you look at it, right? And these people would see that. So what they would do is try to take out one parent and replace that parent, whether they're the same gender or not, because they know, even though this body is gone, the energy is there. That's what they want. That's the goal, the energy. Like when God told Satan not to take Job's soul, because the energy is there. No matter what you do to his vessel, that don't matter really to me. The soul is what creates that other party with me as a connection too. So, but it never goes backwards. Because if you think about it, take two parents, right? So you have two parents and then one child. And say if you took the child away, the two parents still stand. They a part of the same lineage. I mean, like, not to be technical, but the line that it now doesn't go down. The line doesn't even go down and create a pathway for the child to come up, because the child is gone. But if you take one of those parents, that line still exists, and the line for the child still goes down, which means there's room for this energy. So sometimes even releasing, or all the time even releasing, makes room for something new to come in. So whether they're trying to intentionally replace people, or they're aware of, only so much space or energy, or you need to possess this energy to be relevant, this is still the case. But it never goes back, because you have nothing to go back to if the child is gone. But if you have a parent that's still here, or their energy is still here, whether they're here or not, it creates a pathway. It creates that fire, even that trail of fire, to go to the child. And now there are remnants from this parent in the child. So that's why if you take the child, you take the remnants away, but the parents are still there. The big thing is still there. But it's better that the remnants is in the child and the parents still exist as well. But the child has to exist to have even those remnants present. And remember and remnant start with the same letters. Even sleep, waking up. But yeah, and if you know a little bit about spirituality, like when parents give birth to a child, some of their remnants or some of their powers are passed on, and ultimately they get their own power that had nothing to do with the parent, but has something to do with the parent, because the parent was involved in the creation though. But it's like their own unique genetic signature they receive but they also receive things from the parent. The child can't do that. The child can't go back and give them their power. That makes them different. So however you look at it, it can't go opposite ways. And that's why this fire will end up burning them. Because you're now touching a hot fence, a wire fence, electrical fence you're not supposed to touch. Because you're trying to mess up a trail that was already created. And you can't replace it with something similar. It's not a replaceable part. What is it called? It's an aftermarket part. You got to go get it in a specific place or something like that. I forget what the words are, but someone working on their car or, need maintenance issues as well. But yeah, so hopefully that made sense. I've said so much, giving you guys so much information that I could leave the reading right here if I wanted to. But I'm not. I'm going to give you guys some cards. Because I do use these cards as confirmation for myself, for you, evidence to show you. I'm not getting up here and making up shit, and I don't have a personal vendetta against anybody, and I'm not projecting my energy. I don't like to project my energy, but I do believe in God using me as a testimony, i.e. a messenger as well. First and foremost, I'd rather be close to God. I'd rather be near God and be like, oh yeah, I won't let God go. I'd rather be that. Because I know how powerful God is. God don't ever have to use power for me. So I'm just confused. I'm confused at why people even try, whether it's with God or not, or you, someone they see power in. Like, why don't you just respect that? Why you so much? Why you so obedient to your ego? Like, damn, you ain't got your own mind. And the ego is not even bad to have, but these motherfuckers be having unbalanced egos. It's bad when it's unbalanced. Sometimes you need an ego to get what you want, to get the results you want. The ego is even, honestly, to me, I think of the yin yang sign too with the ego. It's light and dark aspects of an ego. But most of us only look at it as a negative thing, or even use that word when we're referring to something negatively. Not even using it to prop ourselves up. Like Beyonce did. I'm just kidding. But, like, I'm not saying you was the perfect one at spitting that. But, like, that's how we should be to ourselves. Nobody should have to point that out for us. But I like that song. Too big. It's too hot. Can't fit. It's too much. It's too tough. I walk like this because he can back it up. He got a big ego. It's such a big ego. I love his big ego. It's too much. I walk like this because he can back it up. He be backing that ass up, girl. You look good once you back that ass. Juvenile, okay? See, the kids coming in. And some of them do that. They'll do all that to get rid of one or both of the parents, and then end up having to deal with a child with behavior issues that they want to send to juvenile hall, boot camp, all that shit. Do they still do that? Beyond scared straight and shit like that, because they can't handle them. But what they not really understanding is you're not handling them not being able to regulate their behavior. You're handling not being able to handle their grief. And some of their grief, because their remnants of their parents is in them, will tell them exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. Or tell them you were involved. See, they right at the crime scene. See, it's a crime. It's a crime to touch these parents now. Don't touch this electrical fence. Don't even try it. You will get burned. You'll get shocked. Healing. Alcohol issues. Even someone was trying to use alcohol to penetrate in your vessel. Look at this. Shit. Or your parents' vessel, this would happen. Or this was trying to happen to you, release and reverse. Yeah, they wanted you to hold on to a habit, or somebody assumed you had a habit. They assumed you were lonely. They assumed you were in so much pain, you were numbing it, using something else to escape it. A Pisces could be significant as well. They rule escapism, but also they're ruled by Neptune, which is the mother of dreams. Well, their dreams shouldn't have been none dealing with hurting you or the parents of you. Or if you're the parents of a child, but you in general as a parent. Then we got patience here, and then the little girl is on here. So someone just lost a child, a toddler, within the last year. Ancestors, and she became one of your ancestors, or she was your ancestor the whole time, because God was working on something. Because it can't go backwards. So God was trying to create, it sounds like God was trying to create the wheel over again. Like, try it again. Like, but not erase the progress your lineage has made, or, like whatever that unit is. Yeah, that's another word to use, unit. Ain't that a military word too? Go back to your unit. Thank you for the 5th like. May God bless you just for that. Why somebody sing Beyonce? A Virgo girl up in here? I walk like this because he can back it up. I talk like this because he can back it up. He can back it up. Yeah, he can back it up. I can see it in your eyes, you're angry. Regret got shit on what you're feeling now. Mad cause he ain't like me. Oh, you mad cause nobody ever did it like me. All the care I would take, all the love that we made. Now you're trying to find somebody to replace what I gave to you. It's a shame you didn't keep it, Alicia, Katia. I know that you gon' hear this. I'm the man. Yeah, I said it. Bitch, I'm the man. Don't you forget it. The way you walk, that's me. The way you talk, that's me. The way you got your hair up, did you forget? That's me. And the voice in the spirit right now, that's me, that's me. And the voice in the here, that's me. Can't you see that I made it, that I made it? First I made you who you are, and then I made it. And now you're wasted with your latest. And I'm the reason that you always getting faded. Take a shot for me. Oh, oh. Take a shot for me. Oh, oh, oh. Take a shot for me. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. A shot for me. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. A shot for me. Look, girl, I'm honest. I can't lie. I miss you. You and the music were the only thing that I commit to. I never cheated, for the record, back when I was with you. But you don't believe me. Girl, I don't get you. I'm used to doing things. I wish you had a different way of viewing things. The time we from. Yeah, that's Drake, okay? Someone's son could have been a Scorpio, or you could be a Scorpio parent as the male, okay? As well, or just have those placements. But I was just starting to sing that song because he said at first he was talking about how he was giving himself credit for who someone turned out to be. And I forgot a little bit before what I was saying to relate to it, but I know that's the reason why I started to sing that song. But so many things that we already spoke about in this reading came out in that song, and I wasn't looking for that. So you see, like, once someone starts the fire, like, they're not gonna even have control over what comes out after as well. All you have to do is ignite, huh? Like, are you prepared to see the results from that ignition? Okay. Anyway, and then we have I thought this says perfection. Okay, perception. Okay. Perception in reverse. Okay. Someone has to remove the mask now. You've been outed. Did a reading about cars not too long ago. It was red, yellow, blue, white, black, gray, even silver cars could be significant, especially SUVs of the white, black, and gray. Okay. But also there's a blue, a royal blue SUV one must look out for. It is somebody's mirroring you, or they wish to take over your strength because they know how powerful you are. We got reflection and then strength in the reverse because they see your strength and they want to drain it from you. Wow. What else, God? Yeah, and then some of them try to put you in rehab, have these discussions about you going to rehab and interventions, and they the one that need all this because they thought they was about to get away with this shit. So you need to be in somebody's cuckoo house. Shit. Y'all abusing that shit anyway. Some of y'all go there because y'all ain't got no fucking where else to be. You rather be there? Damn. People out there who could really use that help, but that bed. Discernment in reverse because they see how much you listen to God, or your gift of discernment from God has developed. Celebration in reverse, or the way that you see life, or like some of us look through as adults, we look through life as through the eyes of a kid when we look at life or go through life and stuff like that, because it always got to go down in case you need it for up. Always got to go down. Change. So they also wanted to change you. They also thought whatever life they planned for you was better than the one that God could give you. You could be a ancient oracle as well, or they see that you're an ancient oracle. You're like the oracle off the movie The Matrix. Thank you for the 6 like, and may God bless you just for that. It's saying nobody in here, and I just saw the 6 like. I've been looking, but anyway. Haters, okay. Caroline, hi, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Thank you for liking the video before you got in my chat. And I know if you're able to get in my chat, you're part of the God and Goddess. What up, Godsta, right? Godsta. Okay, gangsta for the Lord and Lady, depending on if you're a man or a woman, or divine masculine, divine feminine. How about that? But yeah. Awesome. Did you check out? I did. Anyway, but thank you. Welcome. Kindred spirits, okay? So this is giving me a lot of shape-shifting. They were doing a lot of shape-shifting, and there are two young Asian girls. And one girl, like, it looks like they could pass off as twins. Someone's name could be Kyra as well. They look like they could pass off as twins. Like, but I feel like one is older, and they just, even the older one could be, the eldest one could be the one that's shorter as well. So they got away with this. And I did a reading not too long ago that says these girls be twins, okay? And we talking about the two and stuff. But it's giving me like, like one is older and then one is younger, and then they passed off as sisters, but they probably was mother and daughter for some of you guys. Niece and niece and auntie. Something like that. Or same with men, uncle and nephew, and dad and son type of energy, you know, because someone was trying to replace that relationship. And they thought, they thought by doing that, creating that type of connection was gonna, allow that energy to push them forward, propel them forward, but the energy just stopped them. The energy was actually, it acted as a lock on the door, if it made sense. I had a dream last week about an Asian girl, but I don't know what it means. Do you like Asian girls? Yeah, and then we have hope. So some of them wanted you to feel hopeless, and like look at yourself in the mirror and feel like you're not gonna ever be shit. That movie Juice with Tupac. Tupac could be one of your angels. Could be significant. He has this scene, or I saw a short of this scene as well. But there's a scene where after something happened with Tupac and his friends, and then they got into it kind of as well. Like it was kind of Tupac's fault at first, and he acknowledges it in this scene. But this time, well, the reason why they're having this encounter in the first place is because Tupac is finally seeing, that his friends don't have his back and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, what they think about Tupac, or what Tupac has done, or whatever reason, and he was like, I know I ain't gonna be shit. No, because he was like, whatever he said. At first, he was like, man, you crazy. His friend was like, you crazy. He was like, the first time you said that, I was tripping. So that was him acknowledging, like it was his fault the first time. But now, I don't believe that. And then he was like, but at least I'm, upfront with it. He's like, I know I'm never gonna be shit, and you less of a man than me, so you really ain't gonna be shit. Like how strong he is and how confident he is, or the character is. I mean, well, I know he's strong and confident as a person, but the character is. Why has he come up to the conclusion that he's never gonna be shit? Why is that even a belief of his? That he's never going to be shit? Why did he already sit there? And that's how our enemies be. So now, since they already accepted whatever about themselves, they need something to do. They need some way to move their hands. Well, maybe that's why you saw this Asian girl. That you would like her if she had a good personality. Maybe she did. I don't know. I bet your guess is better than mine. You know more about your life than I do. But yeah, so that's significant for someone as well. They wanted you, to feel in this hopeless state, or develop these type of beliefs about yourself, no matter how you are, as well. And walk in that and act out of that, act in loneliness, act in this belief, whatever this belief, act out because of it. And they have failed. All right. And reflection keep coming out. It's like, because y'all have this energy where, like when you go around people, or other people go around you, because you showed them, like you're not even trying to, but you showed them what's wrong with them by how you react. And some of them don't be open to even admitting that, Goddess Admit could be close to you as well. She devours your heart if it was too heavy at the end of your life, okay? Full of all these bad deeds and shit. I was about to say demons, okay? She devours your heart, and she's a mixture of a crocodile, a lion, or a cheetah, or a leopard even, because she has spots, and a hippo. if I'm not mistaken. But you know, like, all those things have like ravenous teeth as well. You know, they even try to attack your teeth, your children's teeth as well. Guardian angel, and your guardian angel, some of them are shape-shifting and appearing like your guardian angel, so they would know something sentiment about your life, like I was talking about with my mentor as well. And you know, they will use that against you instead of even having the sympathy that you probably don't want or do want. You know, it's easier and more comfortable for them to use it against you, throw it like a ball against you. Power in reverse. Wow. The reflection. It's like you show them how much power they don't have. I didn't even remember we had power in here. Okay. Because I was getting power from strength as well. So a Leo could be significant as well. I'm even getting Aries energy with the power reflection. I'm even getting Gemini energy, like that twin energy. Then we got transition. Wow. And then this girl, I thought she was tied up to a tree, but she's standing next to a tree. Or people not realizing they're going to have to meet you at the end. They did all of this and they went around in a circle, or that fire burnt them. You ended up being that fire and transitioning into this beautiful being, whether you're a man or a woman, who they may or may not get to meet ever again. Because some of these people did stuff so wrong, they not going to exist in the world ever again in any lifetime, ever. We don't like your energy. You contaminated our work. You contaminated our work, our world. Fuck that. All right? Y'all got to go. Grace. Y'all not appreciative of the grace because they see God's grace raining on you. It's a God in you. Okay, Mary, and Kiki Sheard. Those names and initials will be significant. What is her name? Tisha. Is her name Tisha? I don't remember the Mary girl's name. I'm sorry. But I know that one was named Campbell, right? Or is Tisha? I don't know. Shit. I was talking about Tisha Campbell from Martin's show. Is that Gina from Martin? She Gina, okay? I only know her as Gina, okay? And Regina means queen, okay? It's like even somebody short of a queen, or you know, someone trying to be the queen, but they only some of the queen. They only Gina. They only worth the nickname. They work a pet name to cover up. Like somebody could have been cheating and stuff like that, and they call a certain person a certain pet name to hide it. And the pet name could probably sound like the opposite sex of who this person actually is as well. Yeah, we know what y'all doing. But Gina is also most of the word. Regina. Or you trying to redo that? You trying to recycle that queen? Redo that queen? Replace that queen? Gina could be the source. Because she was the main character on that show. So, you know, like, I'm thinking about all types of shit when it comes to this, because this is how they be thinking. And we just try our best thinking we just being obedient and minding our own business. And they are allowed to run rampant, including over us as well. They scare us into this dungeon of fear. Dungeons of fear to retaliate and fear to this, fear to that. Okay? They put us there. Hey. Well, thanks. I'm glad you think so. Intuition in reverse, because they have no intuition, no discernment. We have discernment and intuition in reverse. Damn, what you got? No wonder why you want my shit so badly. You ain't got shit. They'll be attacking you, insulting you at the same time. It ain't got shit. You ain't the one for me, bitch. You ain't got shit I need, bitch. You want me to take my time with you. Maybe I'm not your speed, bitch. Maybe I'm not your lead, bitch. You ain't even got no cheese, bitch. Maybe I'm just too G for you. Maybe I'm just too street, bitch. I can't even roll in peas. Why? Everybody notice me. Yeah. I can't even go to sleep. Why? Going on the B. Why? They try to get me, got on my knees like, Jesus, please. You don't believe in Jesus. Why you got a Jesus, please? If you want to leave, just leave. You ain't got to lie to me. Even the blind can see. You ain't going to ride for me. Man, you showing me the love you say you got for me. Man, no loyalty. You lied to me. Said you going to ride for me. Yeah. Need drastically. Yeah. Maybe I need to switch my flow up. Yeah, I'm sitting on throw up. Yeah, sitting there catch up. Eating on your neck. Eating on your niggas don't catch up. Every time I fuck her, I'm masked up. Okay. Maybe you people haven't seen the true colors of the people they laying down with because they aren't true colors. They not even existing. Okay. They the outside that hasn't been colored yet. Or don't think they need to be colored. But they doing all this. Why make such the effort then? If you're so hopeless at the end of the day, anything most of them want to do to us or, you or whatever, they are that already. Like I was talking about how much people call me crazy. But they've illustrated in the midst of calling me crazy how crazy they are. But that was Kodak Black and Extension, who could be one of your angels. Rolling Peace, okay? Yeah, I love y'all. I love y'all. Freedom, okay? So they wanted to train you down in this dungeon, okay? But we rah like a dungeon dragon, rah like a dungeon dragon, rah like a dungeon dragon, like a dungeon dragon, like a dungeon dragon. And then if you lock the dragon up enough, they don't grow, They got to be free to expand their wings. They have to be free to grow as well. So some of them know this, some of them don't. So they suppress us. Put us in this fearful dungeon. That was Nicki Minaj and Eminem. Roman's revenge. See, it's a crime. You committed a crime. And we have protection and freedom here. Wow. And there's swans on here. Swans represent, it's the bird of love. And it's two of them. See? And then a woman is standing in front of these swans. She could be the product. She could be the source. Thank you for the 7 like, and may God bless you just for that. She could be that child that's grown up now. And then maybe even these parents had to result to be in these swans because now they're spirit guides. Now they're, passed on loved ones. Look at that. But despite all of that, she's still standing tall, looking beautiful. She's still protected. And that's what they end up doing, when our parents die and, or, any ancestors, honestly. But, when they die, they become our protectors, our guardian angels, and we have that come out too. Gentleness. And they're so much more awakened, over there. So awakened that, sometimes they could get more mad at something done to you than you are. Because they see more of it. So I call them even alive more than we are. They're alive. We're living. We're living that life. We're living, trying to correct some of the mistakes they probably made or people made with them, mishandling them. Shadow self. Yeah. And they need to face their shadow. Upright. They need to face it. Or it's going to require you to face your shadow self to even declare judgment on some of these people. Some of us, when we're hurt, we don't even want to take revenge. We think of wholeheartedly, like me, I would say. I can speak for myself when it comes to this. I think of God getting a revenge. But most of the time, I sense God telling me to get revenge. So those are mainly instances that God is more mad at something I even got mad at. So if You come in my field and I'm already used to fire, and you come in here and try to add some fire to me. You think you have won? How could you even have a chance to win? Get out my field. Stop calling mess. Stop starting mess. Ancestors. Ancestors could be even saying that. Especially your ancestors who had to work in the field against these house niggas. These motherfucking house niggas thinking they done made it. You just a house nigga. Okay? But you a nigga at the end of the day. And you more closer to these scenes that, crime scenes basically, that they do in the house. Some of them house niggas were possessed. That's why they could even think of and fathom going against their own family. Some of them went against their own family, like the family they created, because they was a house nigga. Didn't see how these people, these owners of this plantation or wherever this slavery took place. The slavery didn't just happen on the plantation, but we talking about the ones with the fields and shit like that. House niggas and fucking field niggas. But yeah, so they're actually on the ground that they commit everything. And sometimes they went and, tried to separate the families. And if they feel like they couldn't separate the families through like these gruesome methods without being, I don't even know, because it seemed like they didn't have that many laws especially for slaves against the owners. But, a lot of them, did that shit. They brought they separated the family on purpose to get one by itself, isolated. Some of them took the baby, made it as their own, replaced one of the parents or both of the parents. Maybe made the parents live to create other kids, because it can't go back up. Stork energy is here, so somebody could be pregnant watching me. Someone could be from Italy, or did I say Italy earlier, or was that the reading for Jesus? But Italy came out, and then I'm getting Paris. We have the Eiffel Tower on here. Someone could also be writing you a letter. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclose it with the kiss. And some of these people didn't come back after they went on a trip, like on that movie Frozen. Both parents left and went on a trip on a boat, and then they got into an accident, leaving 2 of their children who are part of royalty. So that story, God don't want that type of story to happen no more. So the best way to prevent that from happening is to snuff out the culprit who was in charge of that type of shit, who even delivered the news for some of them as well, because even sometimes they delivered this news and it wasn't true. They probably had these parents in a fucking dungeon somewhere. Whew, goodness, this is heavy. I think I'm gonna go though. Yeah. No. Patience in reverse. A child, or even a child. They send a child on the trip, and something happened to this child. But the death of a child it probably just pissed God off. So it's like, you know what? It's about to be inevitable for for death to not even come and look at a child. But if you touch the parent, that means you're threatening the child. Because I assign these pair that you rent, to be to this child, and this child to these parents, and the child knows to rely on these parents. So you're taking their resource away, money or not. That song Roll in Peace said, you ain't even got no cheese, bitch. And I've been saying like stuff like that. It's like people trying to call you crazy or call me crazy, and they've illustrated in the midst of them calling me crazy how evidence for how they are crazy. Then we got beauty here. Yeah, some of them hated your beauty. Aphrodite could be one of your angels. Psyche, Cupid as well. Aphrodite was Psyche's mother-in-law, and it was said, which the energy could have just been there. She really didn't have no reason for this. Some of these people don't even have no reason to hate. But yeah, she was hating. She hated her daughter-in-law, Psyche, because she felt like Psyche was more beautiful than her or something like that. And Aphrodite is representative of beauty. Like she is a creation of beauty. See? A creation coming back. And even when I was reading the title, that after I typed it, like I saw cremate, where it says creates. So they're creating a fire that cremates their own, their own fire or something like that, or their own ashes. Yeah, like, and then when you cremate somebody, what are you left with? Ashes. I didn't even write cremate though. I wrote creates because that's the idea of it. But that's coming real soon for somebody if they don't stop, because they already been warned. But yeah, Aphrodite didn't even really have a reason to hate on Psyche, so that's why I think it's a myth, but it's like some truth to the energy, because maybe even Aphrodite, because she loved her son so much, or she cared about who her son ended up with, because he ended up with Psyche, it could have looked as if they have animosity for a certain reason. Someone perceived it that way. But she probably was in fire, or acted towards Psyche with fire because of her protection for her son. But she needs to be there to protect the son, right? So, like, it's going back to that as well. It's like even the child being protected from other parties that aren't authoritative figures, or figures that are adults to them, or I don't know, superior to them, I guess, lack of better words. It's just someone who could have an influence on his life, because once you get married, you and your husband or wife become one, right? You depart from your parents' ways and go to that. So he's in a transition, or was in that transition phase, where it could have felt like she was putting up a lot of, or she was guarded a lot, and that could have been mistaken as, oh, she may be guarded because she's jealous, and people have developed their own conclusion based on what they perceived, and it may not have been true. So somebody is even in a dispute or spat because of that type of shit. Like, oh yeah, I think your mama jealous of me, or I think or the wife could be saying that, and the mother could be also saying something like that, or or thinking like, oh yeah, maybe she think I'm jealous of her, or maybe she think I'm doing this or saying this or whatever is happening because I'm jealous of her. Maybe she could even be saying that, because I was getting like two parties could be saying that. It's like your mama could be jealous of me, but or other people are probably saying something like that, and the energy is developing because that type of stuff is there. So it's magnetizing to whatever it belongs to. So something like that could be significant as well, because even that jealousy feeling is probably there for no party's fault. That really matters. And two girls and a boy could be significant, or two boys and a girl could be significant. Relationship like that. Playfulness in reverse. Yeah, they hate how you look at life, or or something like that, how you see life through. You're like a candy store. I'm like a toddler. You got me wanting more, 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 more. Your love, yeah. Your love, yeah. Your love, yeah. Your love, yeah. Your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Find me your love. Nicki Minaj, your love, okay? Yeah, and then it's like, you're a beautiful scene. I used to work at this place. Somebody like that story. I used to work at this elementary school where more so middle class to high class children went there as well. And seeing some of these children's families were targets. That's probably why they're coming up again, because I mentioned this same school and the same type of story in another reading. So, you're seeing it now. You're probably seeing the signs that indeed, yeah, you were the target. You were one of the families they wanted to take out. You weren't supposed to be here today, but God says otherwise. And those who try to touch you, something really bad happened to them, including death. Someone's name could start with a T. Someone could work for the government. So yeah, so the school, I used to work at, and I was I was at the beginning when we were playing outside, or at least I was playing outside, because after a while, I didn't really want to go outside anymore, and I didn't really like to be outside, with the children. I'd rather just be in the building helping them with homework. So they even found a problem with that. They thinking I don't want to be outside in the cold, but I'm like, if I have a choice, I'd rather choose this option, and because it's more enriching for others' lives. It wasn't even about myself. I'm like, okay, well, it benefits me now in a way where I wanted to be delivered from that situation, but I'd rather do this. Whether it's hot or cold outside. But yeah, so I was outside playing, jump rope, and I was fairly new to this job. So some of the parents hadn't met me yet. Some of the parents hadn't seen me, especially the dads. And most of the times, the dads rarely come and pick them up, unless that's like the dynamic. Sometimes the dads will work from home before COVID. It was that type of thing. Like the dads will work from home, and those are the dads that ends up picking their children up. But most of the time the mother will pick them up. So, or if the dad gets off before the mother, or could get there before the mother, it's something like that. It was always something that it was different for the dad. So on this particular day, more dads saw me as a new person than not, and they weren't hush about it. They let other people know, or asked other people about me. So they asked this particular teacher about me, a few dads, or this particular teacher saw these few dads take a double look and double take at me while I was jumper rope. So this teacher that saw it, one of my colleagues, because I was an after school program counselor, and she was too, but because she was older than most of us, if not all of us, most people look at her as like more of an authoritative figure than even us. And she even looks at herself as more of an authoritative figure, even us, or because she has children, or, that's that type of person. To give y'all a little background, this is the type of person she was. So, you know, um, whether a dad came up to her and asked about me or not, she felt the need to say something because I was jumping in rope. And she said, I look like a butterfly jumping in the rope. And she thinks I shouldn't wear tights anymore because the dads come in here and look like they're imagining me in bed. So she don't want the dads to start imagining me in bed. So I shouldn't wear tights anymore. All because I was jumping rope I was jumping rope because she said I looked like a butterfly while I was jumping rope though. And it comes to the fact, like, to stop that, I could jump rope still, right? But I need to not wear tights. And I had like different color tights and stuff like that. And I always made sure like you can see, like my undies and stuff like that. I make sure I'm okay with being seen how I come out the house. If I had control over it, which I always did in college, I cared about what I looked like. If I feel like I had to pull my skirt down too much during the day, I'm not going to wear that skirt. I don't care who gonna look at me or not, you know? So keep in mind, like, I wasn't wearing tights and being revealing, like I was very cautious, and I work with kids too. It's like, so I thought it was fun to have different colored tights because honestly, the kids will always comment on them. But, like, because they're fun type of tights. Like I thought it was a part of a uniform. Like it looked like a uniform to me, or what's it called, costume, and ever since then, I did not wear not one tight no more, and all because someone either, develop a conclusion based on how people were reacting when they saw me. Like I remember even that day, I met more dads because I normally see the moms, or or if I did meet the dad more, maybe I even see the mom with the dad today. Like it was an unusual amount of men that came in that day. But I wasn't even worried about it, like to be focused on it. I was playing jump rope, and I didn't, like, and then it wasn't like my clothes fit well, like it wasn't too revealing. Like when I was jumping rope, like my shirt didn't come up, or, like I wasn't revealing anything, like undies or nothing. It was just because of how I looked as a whole. So as we compare that to Aphrodite and Psyche's relationship, it's like, like, oh yeah, we see a pretty girl and, a woman who's getting older, and she's probably still pretty, but she's just getting older. So automatically the energy that it's being exchanged between them, we must assume that it's jealousy, okay? From a party looking outside, like they must assume that these men are looking at me because they're imagining me in bed, although it may be true. But why is that my problem? Why is that my problem? How? How is it even my problem? But, like people will have these such huge projections, and, like, and then they'll put you in this dungeon of fear, dungeon of insecurity, dungeon of whatever. Try to shrink you. Don't want me to grow. I'm already a butterfly. I've been a caterpillar all this time. Now I'm a butterfly. You said so yourself. And Psyche actually has butterfly wings too. Funny. So beautiful. And Aphrodite, I look at her as like she is the life that was lived after being a mermaid for so long. Whether it's really, because I think about the story of Little Mermaid, or the movie Little Mermaid. Walt Disney could be one of your angels. But, like how she wanted to be on land. And, I know there's sequels to that as well. And I feel like I tried to watch them a long time ago and it just didn't stick to me. I like the original. But, like in real life, or, to play out history, I believe that, Aphrodite was that mermaid that turned into, a non-mermaid, but, she lived her life as a non-mermaid and not like in between worlds even as well. So, like even her being that, like she got everything, she ends up getting everything she wants, including children. Like she had children that were made of love because she's the goddess of love, good things. And love is one of the highest vibrations, if not the highest. I think about even religions, like how different religions worship different things or believe different things. But at the end of the day, it all has the goal of love. So love will, okay? Love will fight for you, okay? Love will prevent anything that is threatening your future. Love will. I said something like that in my Ogun reading. It was a pre-recorded reading. So if you're a part of the Orishan tradition, or believe in them, believe they even invited you, because they do not like people practicing stuff, and they have not been given the permission. What up, Papa Leba? Eshu Leba, okay. God's shoe could be significant as well. He's in charge of wind. Tough Nut. I look at her as like Tough Nut. And they're the parents of Nut and Jeb, okay? Newt and Jeb, okay? Jeb and Nut, okay? Because that's all people like to do. That's all people think about. All people develop their conclusions off of, we see, right? Crazy. Or that's what they was thinking you are. You're provocative, promiscuous, and all this type of stuff. And it was the furthest from the truth. And maybe because of how people react to you. I'm in love with Mary Jane. I'm not the only one. Mary wanna play around her. I let her have her fun. She's not the kind of girl that you can just tie down. She likes to spread her loving and turn your head around. Do you love me, Mary Jane? Yeah. Oh, 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 now do you think you love me, Mary Jane? Don't you play no game, yeah, yeah. Rick James, Mary Jane, so the name could start with a R, especially J, or have two J's in their name, JJ, JoJo, something like that. First, middle, last name, or nickname, okay? Yeah, so hopefully this message blessed you and you enjoyed it. I'm gonna leave it here, okay? If y'all new here, again, welcome. If you're OG here, welcome back, and thank y'all so much for trusting me to be your reader. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Join this tribe, this kingdom of God. We're building here through tarot. Yes, tarot. You'll love it here. You may not love everything I say, but you'll love it here, okay? Because kindness starts here, and we fight against the witchcraft, okay? We with the shits, all right? And we don't even have to use witchcraft to fight it. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave it here. And but if you don't know, I do try to make an effort to come on here every single day, sometimes more than once, and at least one in the morning. So although this is considered the morning reading, I'm thinking about coming back, so I'm gonna go. But hopefully this was good enough for you if you needed something like this. And just keep it in your back pocket if it don't make sense now. Rewatch it if you have to, because it was a lot of information. I felt it. Like I felt the information leaving my brain. Like I felt like the words were printed on my brain, and then they were being peeled off like a sticker. And I even think of, like how these people do things. It's like they're putting a sticker, like they're just putting a sticker there, like if that sticker falls off or loses its adhesive, like you're going to be able to go back to your normal thing. These attacks land like stickers. That's what I'm getting. So think of that before you get scared and paranoid, or think I'm even trying to scare you and make you paranoid. Nah. You need to hear it. Please take heed. I feel like if you have any frustrations, and it's not frustration as you're guilty of doing some of these things. It's like frustrations, like why would someone do that? Like, because a lot of people get mad at messengers, or especially me. Like why would they do that though? Like why would they waste time doing that? You'll be surprised. Some of these motherfuckers want to stay on this earth for a long time because they scared to see what's going to happen after they leave. Or they know. And they ain't ready. I had somebody ask me one day, do you have anything good in them cards? And I was just minding my business. I was just shuffling them. Like, I don't want to just look at bad things in the card. Promise me. I promise you. I want to look at the positive. I used to be that reader who only talked about positive things in my readings. But it's not helpful. No matter who does or doesn't watch it. It's not helpful. Because I go back and watch my shit. Shit, I feel like I'm a credible enough source for my damn self, okay? Y'all don't gotta believe me. More for me then, motherfuckers. But yeah, it's like I made a special effort at one point in time in my journey, or this journey with tarot, like to just focus on, the positive things, and not even think about the positive things that come up, if they do or not. Yeah, so yeah, and it's like people just judging you for no apparent reason, when you shouldn't be the one they judging. Why she say that? How she say that? How she know that? How you know? How they know? All that shit. Well, don't believe me then. I pity you. For real though. I'm just chuckling because it related back, and I don't even like to explain it because now it's don't be funny. But it related back to what I was talking about pity earlier with Luna Girl on the show PJ Mask. Okay? Like, I'm lonely. I have nobody to spend Christmas with. So you fucking ruined the whole Christmas for everybody else? That ain't right. Or whatever it was. I wanted the prom. I never been to a prom dance, so I didn't want nobody to show up. Or I think she even threw a party for herself and didn't want nobody to show up. Or somebody could have thrown a party. Another resignation. Okay, so yeah, so I'll see you guys either in a little bit, sometime today. If it's God's willing, but honestly, if it's these demons as well, I did that zodiac reading for what's to come this weekend. What you should look out for this weekend. The attacks were crazy. And now I laugh at how I look at you swinging at me, like literally. I'd be like, really? You can't touch this. Like, you really can't touch this. It's like I'm putting my hand out, stretching my hand out towards their head, and they're steady trying to charge towards me, and then they're not doing nothing. I'm not even making no effort to keep them back either. You coming up against that. Yeah, it's just funny at this point. I gotta laugh to help from crying type of shit. But really, I gotta laugh to help from being scared of y'all motherfucking ass. I do this shit to let y'all ass know that I ain't scared of you. And I never will be. Best believe me. Because you done too much and you walked away freely. And to the ones still fighting, you better watch your back too. Before they get bored and want to snuff your light too. Nah, I'm cool. You shown me enough. Now I must grab my stuff before you try to huff and puff and blow my house down. Oh no, you'll never make me frown again. Ooh, wait. Let's just not pretend. You don't like us then. And I don't say this to offend. I'm just saying. That's my poem. Let's not pretend. I could play. I'm just saying, I could spend time playing a quite enjoyable game of pretend with my kids. I like how y'all rolled that back up. That's why I start laughing. But yeah, that's my poem or rap. Let's not pretend. Okay, Zora Neale Hurston could be one of your angels. That Hearst been sticking out at Hurston lately. Okay, funeral is coming. Okay, and it's gonna be a funeral probably with the fucking urn. You're gonna be leaving with an urn or whatever, however those fucking funerals go. Some of y'all need to feel the pain that we've been feeling to wake y'all ass up or to get y'all to just stop touching the fucking stove. Stop touching the stove. It's hot. Y'all not even a motherfucker who would just take somebody's word for it. You gotta fucking see. And when somebody tell me, like, people use that as a cliche, like you ain't, I told you to, like, you still touched the stove and I was hot or something like that. But it's like, even then, it's like, I'll stop at you just telling me. Because I know if I touch a hot stove, I may not know exactly what's going to happen, but I know I'm going to be hurt. Whether the stove ends up being hot or not. So I just rather not bother. I take this as a warning. And this is what they do. They ignore the warning because of their ego. That's unbalanced as fuck, unchecked as fuck. Then they end up getting hurt. We did all this stuff to prevent it at first. We told you. Some of them don't even have to tell you. And then you have one less piece of proof of what may happen after you touch this stove. Because even if someone told you, like, the stove is hot, you can still, you have the choice to choose to touch it or not. Or you could think you can withstand heat. Can you stand the sun? Oh, or the fire, okay? Fire! Of course, man, it's very significant, but what was it? Can you stand a New Edition? What's New Edition? Can you stand the rain? But I missed it. I remixed it too. Can you stand the sun? Okay, some of them can't even be in the sun to sit. Even if the sun wasn't there that long, they wasn't there that long. So that's what I was also getting to with that stove analogy. It's like someone could tell you like, oh, the stove is hot. But hot could be relative. Maybe it is a heat you can stand. Okay. Maybe it's a heat you have to bear. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know. But depending on that, you got to consider the end in general. And most of the time, you would consider the end to know how to act at the beginning. Most people don't even consider the end, and they get fucked up at the beginning. You don't even get to see what was at the end, motherfucker. But yeah, you can choose to, listen or choose to make a decision from there. It's like, okay, they telling me the stove is hot, so I can't touch it. Even if they said don't touch the stove because it's hot, they could just say the stove is hot, because hot could be relative as well. So hopefully that made sense. But yeah, I'm gonna leave. Hope this message blessed you and you enjoyed it. I don't want to do these right now. They wanted me to pull out this God deck. Mary Magdalene. Okay, she could be around everybody and not be influenced. And also, she was Yeshua's wife. Okay, see, somebody's wife is up in here. I follow my heart necessarily. Thank you for your health and guidance. I made up like a song on the fly in one of the readings I did yesterday, and it was saying like your health is the reason why you're able to enjoy it. Basically, enjoy whatever it is. So you got to watch out for your health as well. Like being important, it's important to include thankfulness for your health, especially after you've been through something you have to fully recover from, or you were debilitated because you couldn't complete certain tasks because of a health issue as well. God could be reminding you to give thanks. Okay. But yeah, Mary Magdalene, she couldn't be moved by nobody. She couldn't be influenced by nobody. If she made a decision, she made the decision based on her own merit. Okay. Like she would hang around with hoes and prostitutes and stuff like that. But it was never that. But people assumed from the outside that she was, because she hung around them, and they treated her as such. And despite this treatment, she still hung around these people because she had her own reasons. Some of us need to be having exposure to certain cultures, whether it's whatever type of culture, like you're used to, or you think of when you thinking someone needs to be exposed to culture. I'm getting heavy, like a white person needs to be exposed to certain customs in Black culture, or even just they need to be educated on how to respond to certain mannerisms of Black people. Yeah, and so I'm getting that, but it could be for any race, but especially black and white as well. It's not imperative to learn white culture if you really think about it, because that's what we live in already. So we don't have to learn much of it. They say manners. Manners are made by man. It starts with man. Some people be judging us based on that, outside perspective. But they were doing all that judgment to Mary Magdalene. She comes from a family of wealth. She had her wealth. It was just hard for her to get it herself. Like, get possession of it herself. She had access to it, but people were trying to stop her access a lot. Or, like it wasn't as accessible as it should be. And that's why she probably even prefers to be around that lifestyle, despite the treatment that she received for it. Yeah, they reminded me of like the story in the Bible where Jesus first met Mary Magdalene, or where they first met. They like how I tell the story. I don't really feel like I'm about to go. But yeah, so in one of the books, they detail this story, and I believe it happened this way. I think it goes a little something like this. Jesus comes from a long trip, and he arrives at one of the disciples' houses, comes to spend a night and shit like that. So he arrives from a long trip, like he flops down in the sea like, whoo, okay. So remember that part of the story, all right? And then Mary Magdalene notices who Jesus is, because Mary Magdalene, as a child, she was told who her future husband is going to be. And she didn't know it as to be a historical figure as Jesus, but she knew who Jesus was when she met him. She knew what kind of reverence she should give to Jesus. So when she comes, when he comes, he sits down in the chair, and then she comes and brings out this alabaster jar full of oil, and she breaks it at his feet to give him the oil, and she started using her hair to brush the oil on his skin, because she was so in awe, and she knew there was honor, but she also knew this was the man that she was told about as well. So not only is Jesus this powerful person, it's like, dang, this is someone I'm supposed to be with. But look at what they treat me like, So the best thing, like her even having alabaster jar, y'all. She had an alabaster jar. Look up what alabaster costs. And so imagine what it was throughout the day, because it's expensive now, but it was considered expensive back in the day too. Like, and it's giving me like it never loses its value type of thing, or someone never loses its value. He will never lose his power, 'cause the blood gives me strength from day to day. He will never lose his power. Like, why she got, and then she had some expensive oil in that alabaster jar, but they treated her like shit because she hung around with these people, and like all these people that they treated like shit, she was included in that, so she got treated like shit, but she somehow still has an alabaster jar. It wasn't one of the disciples' alabaster jar, because he would have got mad at that first, because that shit is expensive. So she's doing all this, she's crying, she's using her hair, to brush and stuff, and Jesus is just kind of in shock, and he's standing still basically, and just letting her do it, And then one of the disciples that owned the house says, what are you doing? Don't touch our king, get the fuck up, whore, like talking to her crazy. And she starts being obedient because she's used to this treatment as well. And then Jesus like, oh wait, no, hold up, stop. No, she ain't got to do nothing. You see what this woman is doing? You see what she's doing? What's your name? What's your name? Oh, I like you. Okay. But, you see what she's done? I was on a long ass trip. Okay. And you didn't offer me no fucking cup of water when I came up in your house. How rude of you. This woman just broke some alabaster jar on me. What is that oil called, honey? You know how much alabaster is? You're like, get up, honey. You don't gotta be on your knees and stuff. What's your name again? Oh, I like you. My mama named Mary. Okay. My mama named Mary. Oh, I like this one. You are awesome. I'm gonna get to know you. Mary and Martha in the Bible. Remember, Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet. And I feel like time got messed up, during these stories as well. Especially if it seems like these are like kids. And then he ends up meeting Mary later, or he could have met Mary as a kid and didn't realize it because his lectures used to be so big. A lot of people used to attend his lectures. Thank you for the 8th like, and may God bless you just for that if you're still here. And so, uh, especially after telling that story, I didn't want to tell. But yeah, because people judge me all the time of how I talk about Jesus, how I reference Jesus and stuff like that, and Jesus loves it. I'm telling you, like whoever you think Jesus is, that person loves it. Okay, because I see, you know, like I see how they had Jesus fucked up in general. They call he's the Prince of Peace, but he would do anything to restore that peace, to hold on to that peace. He didn't just turn the other cheek. I hear it sometimes when like we rhyme and stuff like that. It's confirmations, or they want to. They're really passionate about it. Someone could be really passionate about an art as well. Any type of art, whatever you consider art. Yeah. So yeah, and then so Mary Magdalene. Well, it's not. I don't know if it's really identified that was the same Mary Magdalene, but I believe it's the same Mary Magdalene. Like Mary Magdalene was the lady with the issue with blood as well. Let me touch you and see if you are real. If I can touch the hem of your garment, my power, you know I can feel. Or your power, yeah, I can't do it. Okay, Let Me Touch You by Kirk Franklin and the Family. But he's talking about the hem of the garment, you know, that Mary Magdalene, or the lady with the issue of blood, said she has to touch. Like, all I gotta do is touch his garment. I know I'm gonna be healed. But I gotta get there. Every time I try to get there, I don't get there. And then, coincidentally enough, when she touches his garment, he feels her touching the garment, but not as a touch. He feels it as power being taken from him. How is that possible if these people ain't connected like that? All the Bible is not true, or how it is. You just got to use your discernment. And a lot of people lacking that. We already saw that earlier in the reading. So you don't have to believe me. You don't have to. I'm sorry you don't believe me. Or I'm sorry that you don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your preacher didn't understand. I've been going to my preacher for 30 years and they ain't never told me a story like that. They ain't never put that together like that. And that's my fault, because you need to fire your damn preacher. Tell his ass to fucking study up. Or tell her ass to fucking study up. Get with the times. Take some learning and development courses. Anyway, but yeah, and then so with the Mary Magdalene, or Mary and Martha story, Jesus is lecturing, and then Mary, because she's so infatuated with who this being of Jesus is, whether it's her husband or not, you know, she's front and center, paying attention, not caring about anything else in the world. And they were at Mary Magdalene's and Martha's house. They're sisters, and Martha's focusing, like, is not focusing on lecture at all, focusing on preparing a dinner for Jesus, or, you know, preparing the house, or doing something in the kitchen. And she gets mad because she's handling all this stuff on her own. And then Jesus tells, so she goes and tells Jesus, like, it's not fair. I'm doing all this stuff to prepare a meal for you, and then Mary Magdalene's just sitting there, you know, she's not helping me and stuff like that. And then Jesus tell her, you see, Martha, Mary Magdalene is doing what she's supposed to be doing. You are over there worrying about the wrong things. You should be sitting down just like she is. You worrying about stuff I ain't even worried about. You worrying about feeding your face. If that was literally the thing. You worrying about feeding your face. I'm not worried about that right now. Worrying about feeding them knowledge. Because that is my mission. That's what my Father sent me to do. He was always reminding people of his father. He's like, my daddy said do this, okay? I am the son of my dad, okay? You better recognize who you're talking to. But yeah, so hopefully this message blessed y'all. Y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna leave it there, okay? I could go on all day about this stuff. But yeah, so hope this message blessed you and you enjoyed it. Again, if you are new here, welcome. If you're OG God and Goddess, thank you so much again for tuning in and all that good stuff. And thank y'all all for trusting me to be your reader. I hope that we continue to connect in the future, whether you subscribe or not. But please like the video. Either way, I do appreciate your time today, though, whether you do anything. Okay, so yeah, anything you want in this reading to come true, I hope it comes true for you and for you soon, whether it's good or bad, because sometimes we need that bad, yeah, we're gonna balance yin and yang. Thank you for the ninth like, and may God bless you just for that. Right before I go, that's awesome. All right. But yeah, so yeah, so I hope it comes true for you, and I hope you get all the signs that God is trying to send you, the divine is trying to send you, so that you can stay ahead in this battle, in this race, and be able to focus on the original enemy, okay? Because they're gonna try to put these fake enemies in your path, and y'all doing too much, okay? It's like, and then the fake enemies they put in your path, you end up having to protect their ass because they just in crossfire. Innocent bystanders don't know where the fuck they just stepped on. But yeah, I did a reading that said they don't understand. What they got to understand is you show up at the battlefield. I'm not sure how it's available, if it's available to the public, and stuff like that. But definitely if it's available and you can see it, you should check it out, because it's a lot of things came out about that, and it's really important for us to understand what type of game we're playing. It's not chess versus checkers anymore, although it's more so chess incorporated. It's like that 3D chess or like Chinese checkers. It's like 3D. It lifts up. And they think, like, oh, when you show up, your presence determines that you are, going to start a fight, or they need to start fights with you. But you show up as a battlefield because somebody called, whether it was them directly or their energy, it called. So you had to set up shop right here, lay out the battlefield, and you're going to do them a favor, allow them to swing first, so you can make sure that it is a threat, right, on your site. What is that? Clash of the Titans? I think it's a game. It's like you set camps and stuff like that, and then you have battles and shit like that. That's what we be in. And then they'll put like an innocent family to distract us. An innocent family who may or may not need help, who looking to scam somebody. That show Boondocks could be significant as well, or someone could live in the boonies or consider living in the boonies. I'm trying to close though. But yeah, so yeah, again, I hope this message blessed you, and anything you want in this reading to come true, I hope it comes true for you and for you soon. Thank you, God and God's team, for your messages today. I hope I did you all justice. You all, please come back and visit me in the future and check out any readings I stated and they resonated for you or you're interested in. They will have messages for you. Not may, they will, okay? And I really do. I hope I did y'all justice, because I felt like I was going on a lot of tangents, but I try my best to stay focused and, like allow things to even connect themselves, even if I didn't, think of it for it to connect. So I really hope, like this was good for you, because I don't feel confident in this, like I just know the information that I'm trying to say, and I don't feel confident in how I deliver it. And it could be a projection onto me right now. I don't know, but I'm accepting that if you were confused, or if you don't feel like, whatever you're feeling that is not my goal. My goal is to, educate you or even expose you to these things, and you could just go take it back up to God, so God could fill in the holes and blanks and stuff like that. But God will never tell you I'm lying. I wouldn't say it if I'm lying. Sometimes God make me say things I don't think I should say. Before starting this reading, I was like, I'm about to be attacked hard, huh? And I feel like I was. But I'm appreciative for, anything right now. I'm appreciated. I mean, oh, thank you. Somebody say I'm appreciated. Lady, don't you know your love is sweet? You're appreciated, okay? Someone could be trying to get in contact with their mama. Tupac again. See, he all up in y'all energy. A Gemini man, okay? Could be significant as well, or a Gemini child, all right? But yeah, I love you guys. Have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Kiss your kids for me, especially now. Kiss them and hug them and think of me, please. Or just say my name. Say my name. I'm just kidding. Like, I'm really here with you and your children. Like, I really care about these attacks attempted on your life or created on your life, these fires created in your life and stuff like that. I really do. I really do. So kissing y'all. Yeah, that deserve it and stuff like that. And even if you don't deserve it, I hope you take heed and consider this a warning. This is not a threat. It's a warning. Be careful with us. Who are you choosing and choosing when you know you're losing and losing? Be careful with us. Our heart is like a package with a fragile label on it. Be careful with us. Mary Magdalene just came out with that. So I follow my heart necessarily. Like I don't need to be so passionate, so loyal to you, and I'm disregarding what you're doing to me. But yeah, so bye, you guys. I'll be back sometime today, and if I don't, I will see you guys for sure tomorrow morning. All right, bye, you guys. Bye, guys.